the simple things, the simple things are oftentimes most profound. Yet they are most often difficult to put into practice.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome. This is The Simple Truth, Jermaine West, but we are taking this into a new direction, and it is going to be called, hereby, moving forward, it's going to be considered Simple Truth Talk. And what we're going to do here is we're going to be able to have some wonderful discussions. We're going to have some great topics, and I have some wonderful guests. And I am pleased and honored to be waiting on our first guest, episode 1, season 1 of Simple Truth Talk. And it is none other than Elder Rufus from the Straightway Truth Ministries, Straightway, Georgia. Elder Rufus is not only a phenomenal man of Yah, but he is also a elder to me. He is a friend, and as well, he is also a brother. And with that, I am just so excited, waiting for him to join us here shortly. But we're going to get some housekeeping things out of the way. This is the first episode of the season. Looking to do this every once a month on the 15th of the month. And this first initial one will be a recorded broadcast. Today's topic is going to be rebuke loving your brother. We are blessed and pleased to have my beloved friend, brother, but most importantly, Elder Rufus. Welcome to the new Simple Truth Talk. It's Simple Truth revamped with this concept of doing a podcast. So glad to have you here. So honored to have you as the first guest on here. Episode 1, season 1. It kind of likens back to my video series that we used to have. I never got you on there, but it's kind of similar of, Saints Speak. And so we got you here, Elder. Happy to have you. Excited to have you. Got to kind of take my nervousness down a little, because even though you're my elder, I'm in awe every time I'm around you, and I mean that humbly. I really do. I love you dearly. You know that. You
yes,
definitely know that.
Yes, sir. And love you back.
So where I want to pick up, Elder, first and foremost, tell not only are the audience going to be the saints of Straightway, but also my normal listening audience for the Simple Truth followers and everything. Mm-hmm. Just tell us a little bit about Elder Rufus, the elder, and just give a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get on into this.
Okay. Elder Rufus, the elder, came into existence, I think, around 2012. I know I came to the ministry like a year before that, but I was in the faith years before coming into the ministry of Straightway. I had been keeping the commandments. I had been keeping the feast days, all those type of things before I met Pastor Dow and the Straightway Truth Ministry. But coming here, what it really taught me is who I am as an individual. I am a Hebrew and I'm an Israelite. And for some odd reason in all of my studies, that was a tough thing for me to figure out and understand at that time. And I think we got about a year and a half into this thing. And then the Most High moved on the heart of Pastor Dow, moved on the heart of Elder Becker, and decided that it was time for me to be an elder. And I went through the ordination ceremony, you call it, with the ram's horn and the oil poured on me and the anointing transferred. And I've been serving Yah ever since, like that, in that capacity, I should say. I've been serving him for a lot of years, some decades. But from that capacity, I've been doing that. And as an elder, I've been moved to like what they call like a chief elder status. Elder Becker and myself are the chief elders in the ministry, and really, we play different roles. You know what I mean? And one of my main roles is to help the saints that are coming in. The transition, the community that we have here in Straitway, Georgia, was created as a transition community to help the saints transition from coming out of her and moving away from her, getting away from this wicked world system, changing the mind. The Bible said, be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. And it tells you to purge yourself. So someone needs to help you in that transition and see and understand what that looks like. You know what I mean? So that's the whole purpose of Straitway, Georgia. This is why you know this, Jermaine, being in the ministry as long as you have been. So many people come through Georgia, you know, because going from city life and apartment life and condo life and all this kind of stuff to coming out in the country and dealing with animals and maybe having to use the bathroom in a bucket and all that, it could be a culture shock for a lot of folk. So we wanted a place that you could see the country life, but at the same time still have a few of the worldly amenities, like, you know, a toilet you can flush and not have to put your toilet paper in a trash can next to it because you got a septic tank that you don't want to overflow. You know what I mean? Little stuff like that. So that's the purpose of Straitway, Georgia. I do a lot as an elder worldwide with this ministry. This is a worldwide ministry of helping people transition in their hearts and minds, giving them levels of understanding. The book tells them all that getting, you need to get an understanding. I help a lot of saints with that. I help a lot of saints that are in transition. And Elder Becker, he helps you more with the physical way this is supposed to take place. My job is to come in and make sure your mind is right and the saints around you mind is right. And the level of servitude and commitment and belief in Yah and trust in your faith is on the level it needs to be to get this thing done for the Most High, so he gets all the glory for it. And it's a task at times because, believe it or not, everybody that come to this faith, they don't love Yah, and it's sad. They don't love Yah, and you find that out a lot as an elder because you spend a lot of time in consultation, you spend a lot of time encouraging, you spend a lot of time instructing and guiding. You know what I mean? And it's critical because we have a way to follow. There's a blueprint that's been laid out before us for community. It's a blueprint been laid out before us on how to walk this thing out, and that blueprint is called Straitway Truth Ministries. And part of my job is to make sure that the people follow that blueprint. Yah used Pastor Dow and the saints at Straitway to be an example for all of us to follow. And part of my job is making sure we stay in alignment with that. I always make the statement, you probably heard it a billion times, Jermaine. Hey, the wheel is round and it's fine. Don't give me a triangle wheel. Don't give me a square wheel. Don't give me an octagon wheel. The wheel is round and it's fine. Let it do what it do. So as an elder, the majority of my day consists of counsel, conversation. Now, again, of course, all of us work. We all build and do all that. That's not to go without saying. But the things that I get pressed on a lot is people's mindsets being changed and how that works, how to understand the scriptures, things of that magnitude, how to take what they read in the scriptures and apply it to their everyday life. Because sometimes watching a video ain't enough. Sometimes even seeing another person go through it may not be enough. You know, so I hope that's making sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense, Elder, and that's an awesome way to start and kick things off because it gives a basis and an understanding of where you are as a man, but then where you are as the spiritual man that you are, and the strength that you carry, and the respect that you receive. I mean, I don't take it as a light thing that, you know, you and I came into Straitway roughly about the same time. I think you were just a little bit before me, and I can say, and I hold it as being a wonderful thing that I have known my beloved elder. And the reason why I can say he's my brother and my friend too, because I knew my beloved elder when he was brother. And you're still a brother, but you carry a lot more than you were carrying then. But the thing is that I remember the times when it was myself and it was you and Pastor and Brother Vernon, and that was the logistical support, the tech team, and the security all in one, and we would travel together and do the things that we did. But it's to see how far we have come as, you know, as brothers, as a ministry, how much even Shep has grown,
Oh boy.
and what he has given to us by that growth. It's just been it's breathtaking at times. And sometimes I look at it and I just say, man, I can't believe I've been here that long, but yet it doesn't seem like it's long enough. But that's why we keep striving, we keep pushing, and we keep moving forward. But the main thing that I wanted to bring you in for, Elder, is that it was on my heart and on my mind, just through the years of growth. And you know, as you said, the transitioning with Straightway Georgia, and how it's evolved a bit more than where it was when you said, you know, at first it was just, you know, the moving from the regular lifestyle and finding the way, and then getting some of what a community was like, and then eventually how we've grown now to numerous on-land communities. But it was that transition period. But more so, Straightway Georgia is you would have to say is the example of where you want to go, as far as taking something small and allowing the direction and that round wheel to guide you with the leadership of Pastor Charles Dow, and then grow it into something larger, that it can be more of a refining place of even going to that next level. And I know you came here to Straightway, Ohio, and you know, you really and truly lit a fire under us, and we appreciate it, and we continue to stoke that fire to get better. And so a lot of what you did when you came here is something that I want to talk about in the topic today, and the title of the message that I want to share with everybody today is the fact that when we talk about growing in this faith, the key thing that is important for men, women as well, but more so men and the brothers, is understanding rebuke, and how it is a form of loving your brother. And Elder, I want to lead into this, and then I'm turning it over to you, because this is what you're here for. And it comes down to, and I'm gonna put myself out there. What it comes down to is, we hear and we talk about rebuke. Once we go to, you know, the scripture that teaches us, it says, you know, open rebuke is, you know, better than secret love, you know, and that's in Proverbs 27:5. And we talk about that, but it's a whole different thing when that rebuke is man to man, and it's brought from the words on that page, and it becomes, and I'm gonna put the example that I know personally, when that rebuke comes from the brother you love, who's now your leader, and he does it, and then you realize what's in you once you get that rebuke, once you receive the rebuke. It's about, now I'm older and wiser now, but at the time it was a thing of like, whoa, wait a minute, brother, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And y'all don't have to go into detail, but the honor that comes with that. So, Elder, if you can remember that, and I want you to kind of, you know, you don't have to go with in explicit details, but what the question I'm asking you is, how important is it to be able to take rebuke and take it the way it's supposed to be taken, and use it to become the man that you need to become? That's my first thing I want to put out there with you, Elder.
I get it. And, you know, men are men by, first and foremost, by their word. So your word means everything. If you can't keep your word, you're not a man. You understand what I'm saying? You should never commit or ask or do things that you cannot fulfill. So when it comes to this rebuke thing, being a man coming to another man or another individual, you're keeping your word. You're letting them know, look, this is the truth, and I'm going to rebuke you in this because this is what the book tells me. I got to do this openly, because if I try to love you secretly, this thing won't have as great of effect. See, the open rebuke is not just for the individual getting rebuked. It's also for the other ones listening that have the right type of spirit that know. See, the book also says, know them that labor amongst you. So like the situation me and you had one time years ago when I rebuked you, right? With the information I had at the time, it appeared to be an appropriate open rebuke. That's what it appeared to be from the information that was shared at that time, right? And you, as a good brother, that's your flesh is always going to raise up like, whoa, whoa. And you know inside, Jermaine, like, I ain't done nothing wrong. But because of the knowing me, you know me, I labor with you. You knew my spirit and heart. It wasn't to tear you down. It wasn't to beat you up. It wasn't to embarrass you. You knew that the spirit on your elder was, we got to do better to protect the saints. And that the level of the information I had at the time, it was adequate. So real men do what I did in that situation. A little time goes by, more information is given. Now that I see, whoa, okay, I rebuked, but the brother was doing what he was supposed to do. I was man enough to come back to Brother Jermaine and say, look, brother, I know I rebuked you here, but wasn't warranted, because now more information is here. You actually did what you're supposed to do. And I was like, good. That's how it should be. Because if it's not, I got a responsibility as an elder to protect the saints first and foremost, even from ourselves. So you had the type of spirit that allowed that situation to manifest itself out in the way y'all wanted it to. See, if you come against me, now you've put yourself in the seat of being a judge and a ruler and all that, which you can't do. And that probably wouldn't have turned out the way it did. But because you kept a humble spirit, you received a rebuke. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Look what ended up happening from it. You got other great examples of this. You remember Pastor Dow talks about this kind of stuff all the time. How men come there to the land that he lives on there. Rebuke the fire out of Pastor Dow. He had done nothing wrong. He said, I wouldn't say a word. Those men were over me. They were elders to me. I didn't say nothing. And I was 100% in the right. But when you are, truth doesn't need to be defended. See, in your situation, you knew you had told the truth, right? You didn't need to defend it.
Sir.
That would have went a whole different way if you'd have came at me. Well, now y'all have been like, okay, all right, he's trying to defend himself. Now it's all on him. And we have to have this type of character to where we know them that labor amongst us. And if rebuke is going forward, we know that it's coming out of love. It's coming out of love. It's not coming out of exposure. It's not coming out of trying to embarrass. It's not coming out of trying to put someone down or exercise authority over them that you don't have. You know what I mean? Now, the Bible uses words like rulers and heads and things of that magnitude. But it also tells us to submit ourselves one to another. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, no man, nothing but love. At the same time, I'm a brother, you a brother. Like you said, yeah, I got a title of elder. It's just more responsibility. Like you can have a man that's a brother. He could be a husband, but he may not be a dad. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Then you get to a point where he evolves and you have children. Now he's a dad. And he can become from a dad to being a grandfather. It can grow. But just because you don't have a certain title doesn't mean that the level of love and honor and respect isn't there. See, secretly, you hope to gain somebody. But openly, you're willingly putting it out there saying that, because people don't know, rebuke is harder rebuking than receiving rebuke. It's harder to do it. I don't care what nobody say. It's much harder for me to rebuke saints than it is for me to be rebuked when I'm doing something wrong. It is. Because see, a righteous man loves judgment. When a man rebukes me, I'm like, man, I just want to get it right. I don't care about you know what I mean? I don't care about the semantics involved. I want to get this thing right for y'all. So it's easy for me to receive it. Now, does my flesh always do it? No. But my spirit is like, yes, let's get this right. But when it's time to give it, you don't really like being put in a situation like that. But because you got so much love in your spirit and your heart for your brethren, you know that it's the right thing to do when that spirit of Yah rises up in you and tells you to do it. And the goal is, let's get better. You talked about that throughout the years. You've seen how Pastor Dow, myself, we've all just gotten better and grown in this thing. You know, the gift of love, this stirring of the Holy Spirit, it should be abounding in righteousness and grace and mercy, long suffering, all these fruits, right? That's what it's supposed to be. But if we constantly ignore the rebuke portion of it, that's not going to happen. Rebuke is necessary for you to grow. I don't know any saint that is growing that ain't been rebuked. I don't. Because that means you're a perfect individual and you make no mistakes. Well, we know that's not going to be the case. Your flesh will never be perfect. Now, you can be perfect in heart, mind, and spirit towards the Most High and doing His will, but your flesh is never going to function in a perfect state. It's not designed for that. It's a representation of the sin that's there. You see what I'm saying? The filth that can be there. So it ain't gonna, for you to try to get it there is wrong. This is why we need rebuke. And again, it's done openly so that other sin can actually see, man, this man really loves him, to tell him this in front of everybody. This man really is putting himself out there because he loves this individual and he wants to see it done. And then this ministry is really good because the other places that don't have the love of the Spirit, they'll just rebuke and say some open stuff, but then they don't offer you no solutions. Here, you already know. You can come to get the prayer that you need, the hands laid on for healing that you need. You can get the deliverance, get the spirits cast out of you. We're right there in the fight with you. That's why I said it's important in the rebuking process that everybody understands from a mature standpoint. Know them that labor amongst you. And Pastor talks about this stuff all the time. I'm right. Pastor say what? I'm right as long as I'm not knocking on your door. But today I got to come and knock on your door. Now everything about me is wrong. I could be 99% right? 100% right until it's time for me to get to you. And because you're not perfect, because you're wrapped in flesh, he gonna eventually get to you. An elder's gonna eventually get to you. So I used to make the statement all the time, I'm the most rebuked elder in the
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for it.
He used to hate me saying that statement. And he finally called me out one day, Elder Rufus, why you keep saying that? I don't. Because see, he said he didn't remember. Why did he not remember? Because it was never personal. All the times he rebuked, it was in the spirit of the Most High. Yep. Not only did he want me to get better in my mind, the way I thought about it, and the process that I went about applying what I was doing, he also wanted other saints to see me as an example of growing that they could follow. And then they could say, well, man, Elder Rufus got rebuked here. I want to make sure I get it right here. Yeah. And he wouldn't even remember. So when he's brought it up to me, when he said that, Elder, quit saying that. I don't know. I started running all the rebukes off. And then he teach, so now you're correcting the wrongs. Huh? I just bust out laughing. It wasn't me keeping correcting the wrongs. I had to remind him of all the rebukes I've got. Right. But I put myself in a position to be rebuked. That's the message I wanted saints to get. I don't what the world say. I got to get with some of you young folk and get the understanding y'all get. What y'all say, we don't duck no smoke. Well, Elder wasn't ducking no smoke. I wanted to grow. I wanted to be a better elder. I wanted to be a better husband, a better father, a better brother, a better servant to the Most High first and foremost. Yeah. And I know that correction is the way of the righteous. I want to be corrected. All right, a righteous man loves this type of judgment. We don't run from rebuke. I want to get better. And I realized from reading those scriptures and living this life that that's the best way. I need someone that I know loves me, cares about me, and only wants what's right for y'all to lay that down because it'll be nothing personal. And he literally couldn't remember any of them rebukes until I reminded him. That's the mindset it'll be. Saints do that with me here. Oh, Elder, you've done it to me many times. Elder, you told me this. And I'd be like, okay. Why? I don't remember. I'm just speaking what the Holy Spirit told me to tell you at that time. It's not for me to sit there and, I told Jermaine this, and I told Freeman this, and I told Vernon it. No, that's for y'all to do. It's his instructions coming through his vessels. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, so yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This part is so important because it helps your spiritual growth. It helps you mature. It helps you get a real true grasp of what it's like not having a selfish, individualistic mindset and moving to a tribal, together, I have nothing that I call my own type of mindset that the book speaks about in Acts. You know what I mean? You need this to get in line with that. All the things that you have taken on as who you are, your person, all that got to go to the wayside. All your dreams, goals, aspirations, that got to go out the door because we want what Yah wants, when he wants it, how he wants it, where he wants it, what he wants. That's what we should be desiring. Without rebuke, I don't see you getting there. I don't see saints get to that mature spiritual place, if that makes sense.
Oh, it Elder, that was definitely insightful. I want to take a moment here, just a second, and give all honor and respect to our shepherd, Pastor Charles Dow Jr., for all that he's done and all he has done, continues to do, and will keep doing. Make sure that I give honor where honor's due. Yes, sir. I just want to inject a little thing, kind of going back to what you said, Elder. When you talk about, I remember the very first time I ever got rebuked by Pastor Dow, and it was it was the most subtle of rebukes. It was open, and it was, I never forget it. It was at then Brother Mitchell, but now Elder Mitchell's wedding, and I was taking the pictures, doing something, and I was kind of in my zone and I was kind of instructing him on how to do something. He gave me that look like, that, how he can do it, Elder, where he just look, he said, Brother Jermaine, so and so and so. And he didn't yell. It wasn't any type of negative thing, but it was like a immediate, I felt it. And it was just like, yes, sir. Okay. Come back and get into place. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. But when we talk about this aspect of rebuke and what it means, and I want to point out something here, that if you're listening and you're not of faith, this rebuke is going to, if you know those, as Elder has said, that labor among you, this is going to help you become a better man, husband, father, whatever you are, because it shows, the world would call it being able to take criticism and to use it to the benefit of you getting better and not paying attention to who gave it to you. If you're going to put it in a term for those who are not of the faith. But I ultimately, I want to put it there where I say the thing that I received most about that, and you just mentioned it a moment ago, is that you did what you did out of love, and that was key, love. And that love was shown, because when I think after we, and I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, those that are listening, saints, brothers and sisters, just as Elder Rufus openly rebuked me, he also openly came back and corrected himself after the rebuke. It wasn't something that he went, hey, brother, I made a mistake. My bad. No, it was just as open in the correction of himself as it was when he gave me the rebuke. So, and I never forget, Elder, the one thing that touched me more than anything after, and I want to think and I'll tell you exactly where we were. We were down near your tent, in front of the shop, the old shop down the hill. And you was like, you had said what you had said. And then you said, brother, I just want you to know I love you. And you was happening to walk away. I said, hey, Elder, hold up. And I said, I know you love me. And you were like, well, how do you know? I said, because you rebuked me. You remember that, Elder? Because it just meant, when I understood it, I mean, I can say back then, did I understand it as I understand it now? No, I knew the words. I knew what I was supposed to do. And I knew, for the most part, how I was supposed to act. But did I understand it fully? No. And that's the one thing I love about the Straightway Truth Ministries. And I love about our leader, our shepherd. I don't always understand everything he's saying at the time and at the moment, but I do know that he's led by the Creator, led by the Most High, the Creator of the universe. I know that all I have to do is just let it sink deep down inside of me, as he always said, let these sayings sink deep down inside. And once they sink deep down inside, and you keep listening and keep a pliable heart and an open mind and a humble spirit, that question will get answered for you some way, somehow, through something in this ministry. I don't care if it's a year later, a day later, 2 years, it doesn't matter. It's going to be answered. And I just have that faith to know that it's going to be answered. So, man, Elder, that is, you know what? I put it to you here. I appreciate this. This is exactly what I wanted. I don't want to, wear out the patience of the saints. I know you've got other things that you got to do. I just want to tell you, thank you again, Elder. I appreciate you. I appreciate having you. I hope to be able to have you again. Maybe we can jump on another subject. I know we both huge Laker fans, so maybe something down the road on that. But and yes, audience out there, though we love the Most High, we lay hands and heal. We do deliverance. We do fellowship. We do like sports too. So ain't nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong.
Keep it in context. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yah's first though. After everything for Yah's done, you can do that other thing. But yeah, Elder, I want to just thank you. Any final words for the audience out there when it comes to anything? I'll let you have the final word.
I'm going to touch a little bit on what you said there, because people need to understand how the book comes about it from this love. Love covers a multitude of sin. So if love is always your motivation, you don't really have to worry about the application, the delivery, none of that stuff. Love will cover all of that if the intent is pure and if what you're saying is coming directly from your heart with a desire to please the Most High Yah. Because see, if I'm doing it for Yah, guess what? He has the right to come in and correct me, change me, instruct me in that. Because why? I'm submitting it to him and I'm doing it for him. But if I'm coming in my own power, if I'm coming in my own knowledge and wisdom, which he tells me, lean not to your own understanding. If I'm coming in my own understanding, then Yah's not going to have no part of it. That's when he's going to step back and say, hey, you're a man, you got free will, but whatever comes from that, you got to deal with it. And see, real men of Yah, men that really love the Father and really give everything, they don't ever want to be in a situation like that. I don't ever want to be in a situation where Yah got to throw his hands up and say, you know what? I did create you, but I give you free will. If you want to go destroy yourself, go do it. I don't want him saying that to me. I want him looking at me and say, well done, good and faithful servant. And that should be our desire.
Hallelujah. And on that note, I definitely want to, again, thank you wholeheartedly, Elder. Thank you for your time. I know we got Shabbat getting ready to come in a little bit, and you took time out of your schedule. I know there's a lot of saints coming there, for fellowship with you and everything. But on this inaugural Simple Truth Talk podcast, it was my honor, my pleasure to have you, Elder. I know it was short, but it was it powerfully punched. The punch of it was in there, and I believe the saints will be edified by it. And I to all the righteous of Israel, as Pastor Daniel Muir always says, we love you, we love you, we love you. We really and truly do. And I want to end this with this simple truth mantra. I want to say, everybody, it's the simple things that are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice. So I'll be sure to see you, and you again on another episode real soon. Thank you, Elder. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Bless y'all.
Simple things, 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 simple things. It's the simple things, the simple things, the simple things are oftentimes the most profound. Yet they are most often difficult.